understanding where the developers are, because wouldn't they have some concern too about the amount of money that's going to actually, because it took us a long time for, I've been reading, Navy Yard's been slow to go, Navy Yard's been slow to go. Now Navy Yard's taking off, and now we're going to get cut off between the rest of the city. I don't understand. I guess that might just a concern. I don't understand.
Let me ask you a question. I think the question is, our point is, I think that this would tend to stymie the continued development, slow at best, maybe stymie further development of this area, and this area really has developed quickly and tremendously. What interaction have you all had with developers and others associated with development that would help them understand what this project is and to mitigate factors like this lady just raised?
And first of all, my name is Steve Flippin with CSX. A lot of you all are familiar with me. I've had about 140 meetings with various of you throughout this process, which did start back in 2008. So we've been out here 4 or 5 years talking about what the issue is, or I guess 6 years, what the issue is with the tunnel itself. The tunnel is an aging tunnel. When we first came out here, we were telling you it was a 100-plus-year-old tunnel. Now we're talking about a 110-plus-year-old tunnel. And so there are significant issues that are ongoing with that tunnel. So it's going to need to be replaced at some point. So it's either doing it during planned mitigation, or it's doing it afterwards. So when we talk about what's going on out here, we've had to work with the district agencies, the federal agencies. They're the ones leading this process. I know a lot of people like to say this is CSX's plan. We came up with a plan back in 1999 that we talked to people in 2006, 2008. 11 different concepts came from those conversations. And those concepts have gone to the agencies that have reviewed it. They're not going to allow us to cut off access to the riverfront. And I will tell you that we wouldn't want to do that. All the cross streets stay intact. All the pedestrian access stays intact. We recognize that there are people there. Yes, it is. In all the plans in the DEIS, it has all the cross streets intact. It has pedestrian access. It has access for wheelchairs. It has access for bikes. And it's got tons more that the agencies...
It's inaccurate. Your plans show that 5th Street is cut off. There is no access.
What is it? A little bridge over a trench?
Yes, you build temporary bridges, just like we did. You want to talk about the J&L Tunnel in Pittsburgh. You've said that there's no similarities yet. You want to talk about it in Trench. It does have cross streets. The community was kept together. This shows the reverse view, so it doesn't show you all of the retail, the hotels here, the bars here.
There are going to be houses right here.
Hey, I know exactly where they're going to be.
There's no
James,
community there. There was no community
we know
there.
exactly. Yes, there is.
No, there wasn't.
Would you like to go up and see? I can show you the pictures I got on my phone from when we were up there. So there are tons of people that live there. There are apartment buildings, just like what we're talking about here with the senior center. Your picture shows the apartment buildings here, and this tunnel extends all the way down and comes all the way back. It's a very short picture of a 2,100-foot tunnel, and there's 5 blocks. It shows 1 block.
160 to 210. Have you ever done this before in the city?
Let me, we're going to take 2 more, okay? Let's see, we'll take you, sir, and you, sir, and then we'll close out for the evening, okay? Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Come on up, sir.
He didn't answer the question about the developers anyway.
Yeah, you said he didn't answer. Think about that one, Steve, and ask the question about the developers. I'll let this gentleman go ahead.
He never answered.
But have you interacted with developers?
It was a nice dance, though.
Nice dance.
Yes, we have worked with all the developers because they've got projects that are interacting with us. You've got a project right now that's being proposed for Whole Foods that would impact 8th Street. They need to know what we're going to be doing there at the 2nd Street portal, so they're aware of what we're looking at. We got the community church that's bought all the property there between 7th and 8th Street. So we're working with them to see what's going to be going on there with our project and with what they're doing. We've got affected businesses. Dogma. Ms. Bissinger was here at the very beginning in 2008 raising concerns about how this would impact her business. And we've worked with them to come up with designs to figure out how to maintain access for all those that use that dog kennel and to maintain the safety and security that she needs to reassure her customers.
Would you have your children live 25 feet from the
Others,
train?
you've asked about the developers, and that's what we've been working on.
How about property value?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here.
Thank you much. I think it's great everyone turned out tonight. Everyone's been talking about the burdens this project is going to cause. The people in this room, the people in this neighborhood are going to bear most of those burdens. Whenever you do a project, you balance your burdens with your benefits. Mr. Mayor, people in this room are going to bear most of these burdens. Who gets the benefits? If it's not the city, this is not going to yield more tax revenue, it's not going to yield the Citizens Fund. What does, to repeat my friend's question, what does it yield for us? Take it up a notch. Okay, maybe it's a federal strategic thing. You know, I've heard about the East Coast Rail Network. Okay, if this is a federal issue, if the nation needs this rail transport, then this is bigger than us. We shouldn't have to bear all the burden. Who else is going to bear it? And finally, if it's not a national strategic issue and it's an issue for CSX, guess who ought to bear the burden? And I have another way to maybe do it.
Fair question. If you look at, mega projects like the building of metro in this city, that was an inconvenience to say the least to lots of people, but at the end of the day, we knew what the benefit was going to be to the District of Columbia. And we've had other projects like this. That's a fair point. It's a question we're going to be able to get. We will get an answer to that. Okay. All right. You're going to have the last comment or question, sir.
I think it's a question. Okay, so I just refer you back to that photo. I just refer back to that photo and how accurate it is. I don't know, but there's about 25 homeowners that are directly affected by this because that becomes our front yard. Okay, and I'm one of them. So my question is, if my situation changes and I have to sell my house during this process, who's compensating me for the change in the property value? Because I will not be able to sell a house with that in front of it.
CSX can buy it.
It's an issue I heard earlier today. It's an issue I heard when I was talking informally with people outside the room, and I'm glad it was put on the table. The question is, to the extent that people wind up having, I won't say an inconvenience, they may have their property forever changed as a result of the construction that will take place, and there is a negative fiscal impact on the construction. What happens to their investment?
And it's not just the houses right on Virginia Avenue.
No, it's all of us.
No, I got that, but that is our front yard. Absolutely.
I agree, yeah.
The train is significantly closer to everyone.
Nobody's going to want to buy it.
Would you put your children there?
So we've been asked this question numerous times, and again, it is addressed in the DIS. There's conversation about the mitigation that's required as part of this project. In addition to that, we will have to go through the permitting process, which includes paying public inconvenience fee and other things. And those are addressed.
What's the remedy? What's the remedy?
What is it?
What's the answer?
If it's in the DIS, you should know.
What's the answer?
Process isn't the answer to every question.
It is when you don't know which alternatives move.
Oh, you should do your job and read the DIS.
Monitoring isn't mitigation.
Proposals, so why isn't
Reroute.
All right, thank you all. I want to make sure, one, that we get all the concerns. We've chronicled a number of those concerns that have been expressed here tonight. I've asked the A&C Commissioner if he will make sure that we get other concerns from you all that may not have been expressed. I want to underscore one thing, and that is there is no way, to the extent that the district has a role in this, and I think we do, there's no way that we're going to allow people's safety and security concerns to be compromised by this project. It just isn't going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to thank you all for demonstrating that democracy works and being a part of this process. We obviously have a long ways to go, and I'm going to ask the Commissioner Garber, if he would close us out.
Thanks for coming, Mayor.
Thank you.
The Southeast is beautiful. Don't tear it up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for coming out. Thank you all so much for coming to this meeting. It shows the mayor that there's a great deal of people who will be affected by this project if it moves forward. Mr. Mayor, right now this is just one conversation with one railroad. If this or something like it is ever to move forward, we need to have a comprehensive conversation with all the railroad companies and with all the railroads that are interacting with our city. I wanted to leave you just with a comment that now that you've heard all of these valid concerns, what is your promise to the community? What is your next step? We need you to take a leadership role in this, not a facilitator role for a private corporation.
Well, I think what was obvious, we asked for the opportunity to come and listen tonight, and I've tried to listen intently. We've had people here to address issues involving the project itself. We've had people from various government agencies here. I think my issue is, or my concern at this stage is being able to make sure we have the full input, and I promise you we'll get back to you on this. People who know me know that I am not unalterably caught up in process. I like to get to an answer, I like to get to a solution, and I love to hear from communities. That's exactly what we heard from tonight, were communities. And I want to again have CSX and others help us understand how the options that are on the table address the concerns that have been raised. One of them that I heard repeatedly, and that is, given the burden that's being borne by communities, what is the benefit to the District of Columbia? That is a reasonable question. I want to get the information, I want to get the input, I want to go through the NEPA process, which will yield certain information. Give us an opportunity to do that, Commissioner, and that's exactly what we will do, Commissioner. Okay, and that's exactly what I promise that we will do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you again for everybody. There might be some food or some drink over there for folks to enjoy. Again, thank you, Mayor Gregg, for your attendance tonight. David Garber, thank you very much. Thank you to Daryl Thompson also for his Hill Rag ad in this month's Hill Rag. If you haven't seen it, please, I urge you to see it. Don't be railroaded. And thank you again to the other representatives, DDOT, FHWA, CSX, Parsons Bradenhoff, and others, and all to the community. Have a good one.